Romance of the Free Walkers. Walker, Texas Romancer. Dear me, I'm tongue-tied today. No, Romancing Walker. There. The answer, the one and only answer to the question that I always had about RPG Maker 2000. The RPG Maker system was created in Japan, in the country of Japan, and illegally translated by some hacker somewhere. They prefer to be called the crackers for some stupid reason. I'm not even joking. Look it up. And a community of RPG making teenagers developed in the early to mid 2000s, making English RPGs made by English speaking persons. But I always wondered, the RPG Maker 2000 product that you could buy in the shops in Japan, surely there must have been tons of Japanese people making RPGs of this thing. And yet I never saw a single one. None of these got discussed. None of them seemed to crop up in these Western websites. You never got an RPG, even one that was just written all in Japanese text. They hadn't even translated it into English. I would have loved to have seen some examples of what they made over there, because somehow I suspect it was probably a lot better than what we had here. Anyway, the point is, this is the single solitary game that I'm aware of that apparently did indeed come from Japan. For some reason or other, it got an English translation, which is what we're playing. Don't know who translated it. I suspect the original author. Maybe it was just written in English in the first place. Somehow, anyway, the point is, somehow this game, and this game alone, made it across the continents to America and me. Time for a new games. It's time for a new one, mate. Some options. We can start the game with that and return to the... and we can... Well, that's pointless. Well, that's pointless. Why would you have an option like that? Only it's not pointless, because it fixed the music on the title screen, so... That was a legitimately useful option. I'm going to be presenting to you this Japanese created early to mid 2000s RPG Maker game. Oh, are you excited? The masters of RPGs themselves, and video games in general, the Japanese, have brought us this title screen. First of all, it's copyright by Flair, which again applies to RPG Maker games, I'm sure. Most excellent sun up there with 2 yellow circles surrounding it. Some slightly badly compressed clouds at the top, and at the bottom we got a purple-haired person with a bandana, kind of like Alex really, on the left, who is the main character, and on the right is a red-haired woman that doesn't appear in the entire game, which is just what we like to see. Now, while the proper version of this tune is playing, a tune that I believe was created by the creator of this game, Flair down there, created a lot of the tunes in this game, most excellent quality, but we'll get to them in due time. Right then, time to crack on with this one, methinks. I'm not going to skip anything with this Mr. Eek's early mid-2000s thing, so let's see who Lucetta is. And it would appear to be a person. What the... outrageous! In charge? There's only one person in charge of this series, madam. Sheesh! Alright, oh, it's one of these. Blast! What's the proper answer? Surrendering sounds like the noble one, which is the one that matters, because this is an RPG. When you get to town, what do? Well, possible danger indeed. Then again, this is RPG Maker, so I was about to say that in any well-designed RPG, you'd never have to worry about running into danger in a town that you couldn't escape from, like you saved yourself into a corner, but we are talking about RPG Maker here, so all bets are off when it comes to good design. Best to head to that inn immediately. Unless, of course, the cruel creator decided to make the thing that happen in the inn. Like maybe after you've gone to sleep, saved, you're immediately faced with an unwinnable fight that gets your game over. And again, we're asked if we want to skip something or actually watch something. Honestly, it sure is modest of this game's programmer to have all these options to skip the scenes that they put so much effort into crafting. But this is just the introduction. It's not like they do that for a key, pivotal, plot-critical thing that happens later in the game. No, don't be daft. The story takes place at 1200 BE, the most badly named time system ever. Many civilizations evolved into the creation of magic. And with this power, the people began to flourish under various cultures. For the longest lasting peace and prosperity made them lack of awareness of any kinds of threat, and this led them into total vulnerability. The peace began to break apart at the 127 AE, and the bolognese and the spaghetti sauce and the linguine ravioli. The Lord, the darkness, man! The bananas! The onions and the... Gives them in the minions over the lands of Venice, and it began to decimate the clothes one by one. Horror and pain of the living begorra. The negative energies that war. None of the brave warriors outchallenged over Crown Block. Oh, none of the brave warriors. Then it happened! A beautiful maiden came one day! Later being known as the Sylvia Fina del Star. Fierce of life and the countless battles we overwhelming odds against her. And her inner strength developed gradually after numerous tragedy. How do you know this sound this for? Finally on one day, Flair became the most powerful warrior in the history of mankind. Now over to Bernard Ponsonby with a sport. Only joking, gang. The story takes place 20 years after all of those racial stereotypes just happened. Dark force might be gone, but it's not slammed. What a nasty state of affairs. But luckily a good old young adventurer is off to do some stuff that's unrelated to that completely. Oh well, that's just what we like to see. A choice of music. How sweet. I bet everybody that played this went for that flashy new one up there, but look at the one on the bottom. That's the name of the creator of this game. Are we just going to let the creator's fine upstanding efforts go to waste and not be picked? Of course not, gang. The original. The way it was meant to be. Wow. Some stock RPG Maker clouds. But anything but the stock RPG Maker battle animation there. Wow, that was all drawn straight from the pen, or the pencil, or the MS Paint, whatever the Japanese equivalent of MS Paint is. Nib. Aye, well... And some words of encouragement from Flair to kick us off on our RPG Maker journey into the one and only Japanese game ever released for this in the West.
Finally, my last part of training is over. It took me quite some time, all right.
This young swordsman is Ryle Lester. He is the main hero of this game.
I better get going. Won't do any good hanging around here all day, and I should say farewells to everyone. It's gonna be a long trip. Oh, I almost forgot about this beginner's guide I got from
Shisho? Huh? Shisho? What on earth does that mean? I'm not Japanese. I thought this was translated. Oh, just an innocent mistake. Someone must have accidentally forgotten to translate that one word right at the start. And nothing else. We are Ryle Laster in Lavisville of the Factoria continent. No, it's not a continent that builds cars. It's just got a very factorific name. Aye, there's Ryle himself with his fancy hand-drawn face. Alright, do you want some handy advice, gang, on the game that you're never going to play? Well, tough, because you're going to see it. Aye, that's right, we're Ryle. We're going to solve some puzzles and fight some monsters. But, interestingly enough, every other character in the whole game is female. Except for Ryle. What's that? H.O.T. lover? Oh, some magazine Ryle must read. About failed stapler exams. There's no time for snooze cruising now, Ryle. We gotta get you out of this house and doing something, I guess.
I guess I'll check the drawers and see what I left in here. Sweet, it's H.O.T. magazine. Maybe this time I'll finally learn the trick to passing stapler exams.
Steady on there, Ryle. I think you made a mistake. H.O.T. Lover magazine isn't about failed stapler exams after all. No, it's about the secret to the secret to getting all of the lovely paisanos that join us on our quest to fall in love with you. Because this game is, after all, called Romancing Walker. Romance is very much the theme of the day. Aye, roses are red, violets are blue. You're going to have to learn how to be attractive to the females, Ryle, in this game. So, paisanos, if you care about getting people to be attracted to you in a romantic fashion, well, there's probably better places to get advice on that than an RPG Maker video commentary series, but I can offer advice on doing so in this particular early to mid-2000s RPG Maker game. It's Romancing Walker after all. We need Ryle to get his romantic romance. But it's really quite simple. You just got to talk to the girls in the right way. Have them in your party at certain points, and certain events will happen for certain ones of them that will increase their attractionness. And you can use the LOVE counter to find out just how attracted they all are, which you've got to have the HOT membership for, which I don't know why that was a... I don't know why that's a mechanic, because we've already got the HOT membership. We just picked it up from looking at that chest of drawers over there. So basically, if you didn't bother checking that cabinet in the top left of Ryle's house, you would never be able to use that feature in the whole game. I don't know. Anything else to look at? Not really. Romancing Walker does not have many interactable objects. But it does indeed have Ryle. With his short sword and a cloth. And cloth. He's wearing some cloth. As well as a bandana.
Banana, 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 banana.
What are you talking about? Oh well, doesn't matter to me.
Honestly, kids, you're coming to Mr. X for advice on romantic relationships. Is this really where you're going to get dating tips? What is wrong with kids these days, honestly? It's perfectly simple. I would encourage you to pick up your own copy of Failed Stapler Exam magazine and find out there. That seems like that is one of its sub-series. Well known. There's a big heavy crossover in people interested in girls and failed stapler exams. Oh, rats.
There's an hole in my bucket, dear Liza, dear Liza. There's an hole in my bucket. Oh no, it's the hole.
Oh, you probably don't know what that is, do you? A very English song. No particular meaning to the song as far as I'm aware. It's probably about like a gay man dying of AIDS in Africa or something. You never know what these stupid songs are about. There's always some ridiculously obscure subtext to these songs. Oh, so Shisho, which means mentor it seems, has the HB Oi limited edition, which is a very exclusive magazine for people that have passed stapler exams. He truly understands what it means to finally pass a stapler exam. Shisho has nothing to fear, aka mentor. Well, it's nice that the game, although the translator forgot to translate that word at the start, and forget to translate it right here too, they did think, oh rats, I forgot to translate that word. Well, I'll just put in brackets at the side what it actually means, instead of writing the English version in the place of the Japanese version. So I guess that's better than nothing. Well, are you ready to talk to the first female that Ryle actually cares about? Shisho's daughter, no less. Karis Burnfist. Aye. Are we ready? We're the best student of that guy. We're ready to go out on an adventure, a nondescript adventure with no particular goal or objective. What's this? Oh, rats. If we don't pick the right choice here, gang, that girl is not going to like us more. We better make the right choice if we want to increase her attractiveness. I think we're going to need a handy hint for this. Depending on the answer, her feeling will improve or not. Oh, well, a great hint there, game. That certainly didn't not tell me anything at all. Well, you got to think carefully about the things that you choose to say to girls. Just like in real life. We can choose to be a bit concerned, or we can choose to just not be concerned at all and just have a gung-ho macho man attitude. Well, although, like, bravado confidence can be quite nice, I think maybe the more mature thing here to do would be to actually admit we're slightly concerned. Aye. Uh-oh, she didn't like that.
No matter how much practice I had from the past, I'm still a novice during the real battle. What's so funny about?
Yeah, what is so funny about? Oh, she bought it. Oh, I mean, she appreciated her maturity in expressing some concern about her adventure. Aye, Karis there is the spunky, hot-headed one, but also at the same time thoughtful and not spunky or hot-headed. So you figure it out. We got some handy hints from Shisho. Ryle's sword attacks are close range, so they're not going to be so good against stuff that you can't hit close range. That's a mechanic that applies in this game. Also, he doesn't learn skills from levelling up. Oh, blast! I like it when you learn skills levelling up. So Icarus was entered into the Miss Lavasville Woman contest in a village consisting of 4 houses and about 5 women. So anyway, Karis wasn't pleased with that suggestion, so she just destroyed it with a fireball spell. And as you can see, sometimes when you interact with certain things, you get a choice for an extra bonus event.
Ha! Ha! Ha!
What was that? Some impressive animated person.
Ha! Ah! Oh, Karis, how long have you been here?
Just stop by. I use you by the sound of your strike.
Just by the sound?
That's easy. You always start with 3 fast strokes.
Ah, am I that predictable? Well, I still prefer this way when I got so many things to worry about. Like failing stapler exams.
You got that right. Just look at these marks. You surely have good potential to go berserk.
Looks like you are right.
Well, I gotta go to finish my errands. Why don't you clean these up before you leave?
Okay!
Clean what up? Well, she's even more attracted to us than we were before. Man, we're an attraction machine. Ryle is like a magnet that attracts things. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, so that's why they talk about animal magnetism or whatever it is. Attraction, like magnetic attraction. It's just a stupid pun. Brother. I never noticed that before. You ever had that feeling, gang, when you realise for the first time in like years that something you thought was sort of clever or weird or just like you took it for what it was, turns out it was really just some stupid pun. Bit like Mario's name in the British Nintendo magazine being called Mazza, and I just realised recently he was named after Gaza. A bloomin' footballer. What a cheesy, tacky thing.
Oh dear, Ryle!
Time to introduce you all to the second female person that matters. Ryle's childhood friend, Orubia.
So you decided to go, dear Ryle? Yeah, finally I am independent. That's true.
Oh no, not another choice. Man, good thing I saved the game right before talking to her, in the middle of that Mario Mazza rant. Every time you interact with one of the girls, you never know when you're going to get a thing like this happening. And we've got to get our hero as attractive as possible in this playthrough. We're going to do this game justice. What are we going to do?
Now what's the right thing to say to a childhood friend who I'm leaving forever? No more long face. I really want to see you happy. But we've been together for so long. Now separate? I just feel sad.
Hey, it's not like we will never gonna see each other again. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna spread around and shoot you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye.
Never gonna see each other again?
Of course not.
You must come back in one piece.
Pirates!
I can't guarantee you that. Yes, you will.
Oh, aye. Ruby is quite a sensitive, soft soul, so Ryle always has to treat her delicately and respectfully. Right, so, there's just one last important girl in this village. No, not the sheep. Over in the final house. You might think that, the 3 girls in the home village. One are hero Ryle and 3 girls, with RPG Maker's maximum of 4 party members. Are you suspecting something? You think you've got this game all sussed out, gang? These are the only characters in the whole game? Well, you're going to have to stay tuned to find out if that's true. Here's the final one. Elven girl, Lattice Grin Wind.
I'll be gone for a long time. Well, I guess she really is speechless as usual.
Did you already meet Arubia?
Yeah, she took it very well. Out of her usual reactions, I mean.
Later. Regardless, she'll think about you more than I can ever do.
Won't you be worried about me at all?
Let me see. About 2% of what Arubia would worry. 2%? You might as well just give up on her, Ryle. She's not going to...
What? Even 2%? I feel very flattered to find out that you care for me. I thought you wouldn't even care.
You're pretty stupid, you know that.
Then I see you later, after I learn to talk good.
Ryle always putting the positive spin on things. Right, anything in the beds? Get out of the way. Out of bed, Lattice, come on. Come on, Lattice, I want to check the far right hand side of that bed, just in case the programmer decided to put something in there, which you know they would. You could never trust these RPG Maker creators. They are merciless. They will do all kinds of unspeakable things. Cruel gameplay tricks like that. Lattice, get out of bed.
Sorry to trouble you, Lattice, but my player wants me to check the bed. And you're in the way.
Dearie me, Ryle is getting fed up sick of this. You might say Ryle is getting riled up. Thank you.
Oh well. There was nothing there.
I'm not tired anyway. There was nothing there. What a letdown, eh, Ryle? Still, that is, we've talked to all of the 3 girls and had an event with all of them, and we were successful in our choices. Every one of them got attracted a little bit more. You might have noticed that some of that Lattice there had the least attraction out of all of them. So yeah, the elf girl couldn't care less. Karis was a bit more, and Arubia was the most. Lattice is clearly going to be the hardest to win over. Arubia will be the easiest. So you might imagine that is our difficulty selection system for this game. You want to get Lattice, she's the hardest to catch. Get Arubia, it's the easiest. Aye, that's right, that's what it's all about, gang. Romance, love, all about catching girls. Like fish. Fantastic stuff. Anyway, we've said our tearful goodbyes to the girls, but it's time for Ryle to go off on his quest. He's having an adventure, to do some adventurous things, because he wants to have an adventure. And that's really all that the game tells us about this adventure that he wants to have. Why are we going out? Where are we going? What are we going to do? I guess he just wants to be a wanderer and just do stuff that's good on the old overworld world map. What have we got here then? There's a town to the southeast, a bridge to the south, a temple on the left. Oh well. Time for Ryle to battle some monsters in the RPG Maker battle system. And get ready for a treat to the eyes when you attack, gang, because watch this! Yeah! How'd you like that? Very nicely animated Japanese drawing. Ryle slamming those hornets with a sword. The Dash Strike Special. I'm sure glad my years of battle experience helped me to fight some hornets in the forest. It only takes me 3 slashes to take them down now. Yeah, that's great, Ryle.
Oh, victory!
Aye, there's some mangled English for you. That's what you get when you're playing a Japanese-made RPG Maker game translated into English. Get perhaps some questionable English.
I ain't going in that temple, man. I'd rather go to the bridge instead. Oh man, there's some blocks in front of the bridge!
Massive, exciting lifetime adventure has been stopped literally minutes from town. With that, we've got to give up on our adventure and go back home again. Well, that was a short game. But thanks for joining me, gang. Hope you enjoyed the experience. Gotta love how Factoria Kingdom was too cheap to get more than 2 guards to block the bridge, so they just decided to make up the missing space with 2 giant cardboard boxes. If we head back into the forest again, we'll encounter... What on earth are you?
What the...
It's super fast, speedy sellotape head, man. The worst enemy of all people that have failed stapler exams. They're always gloating about not being staplers. And not having to worry about passing those stupid stapler exams.
Oh, that's what that thing is? I didn't even know that. If that's the case, I'm going to take this thing down. Yeah, I did it.
Yeah, you sure did. Yeah, what? Oh, but it only gave us 1 experience.
A true adventurer has to start somewhere. Besides, I'm going to be stuck finding these stupid sellotape heads for the rest of my life, because I'm never going to get down that stupid bridge. Because I'm never going to get out of this place. The bridge is blocked.
Aye, well instead we'll just head into Tutorial Town. I mean the other local town. Lai Lai Town. Bit like Lala from the Teletubbies. No, I'm not going to go on a tangent about Teletubbies. But instead you can watch all these wonderful townspeople citizens telling us about stuff that anybody that's ever played RPG Maker games would already know. So while the game's telling us about that, I think I'll take the trouble to discuss the background of this very interesting little game a bit more. I don't know for certain that this game was originally Japanese, but I definitely picked up that message from somewhere back in the day. I definitely read that this was a Japanese game translated into English. Or at the very least it was made by a Japanese person. Flair, the programmer, who may or may not be female, I'm not clear on that either. The game seems to refer to Flair as he and she at different points, I believe. So the jury's out on that one. But either way, the only female RPG maker that I'm aware of... Well, I think there was one other one, but I'm not even sure if that person was female either, if I'm just making things up again. And perhaps that certain female person that I'm thinking of will get around to some of their games at some point. Aye. If that person happens to be watching this, I'm sure they just got a sudden nudge to find out where I live and kill me. Oh well, before they can do that, I will say that the music in this game, unless I am very much mistaken, quite a lot of the music in this game was composed by the development team. I could be wrong, but I think songs like this one here, I've certainly never heard them anywhere else but in this game. In fact, I can't even think of a single song in this game that I've heard anywhere else, so maybe all the music in this game was specially made. Which just goes to show how much bigger, more professional and better budgeted that the Japanese RPG Maker games probably were. Oh, it's the HOT membership Love Witch. Well, that's where we find out about the ratings of the female compatriots. I would seriously like to see some other Japanese made RPG Maker games, because this one alone, the drawings of the characters, the battle animations, the music, the feel, the solid game feel that the whole game carries off, the sense of humour, it's miles above what us poor Westerners are able to come up with. Man, puts us to shame, I tell you. Puts us early to mid-2000s teenagers to shame. Oh well, no use reflecting on that in such a melancholy fashion. Let's see now. Anything in the beds? No. But we can find out a bit about the status ailments if you were curious. Don't really need to read about them though. The man in the red jacket and the shades has some very interesting stuff to say, because he is the big running side quest throughout the whole game, the victory point system. Every time you win every few battles you win, you get a victory point at random. You just slowly accumulate these things over the game, and as you get them you can exchange them for some most excellent prizes. I do enjoy little extra touches like that, stuff to be working up towards in games like this. It's so simple, but it adds something. What's this crystal ball? View NG scene. I still don't know what NG stands for, but whatever, let's watch it. Okay, let me get some water in this bucket here. Here we go. What the?
Get away from me, human! I know you failed your stapler exam!
What? How did you know about that? Hey, wait, you're just a well!
You make me sick! I can't stand humans who have failed their stapler exams!
I'm telling you, I did the best job I can! Alright, that does it! That's what you get!
Vile is quite sensitive about his stapler exam history. But yeah, that was all in all a very bizarre, very Japanese scene. I like the little ultra cheesy comedy tune at the end too. All you need is a laugh track. In fact, no, all you actually need is for one of the characters to make an awful joke, and then everybody stands around and laughs for like 15 seconds. And then the screen goes black, and then it ends. I remember when they used to do that, like, legit... Man, remember when they used to do that unironically in cartoons? Like, when did they stop doing that unironically? Because it took a long time for someone to say, you know, this is really, really cheesy. Maybe we shouldn't do this. No, so then they started doing it, but, like, something amusing happens to show that the writer is most postmodern and totally hip with the kids for not thinking that that is a respectable way to end a cartoon. To end a television programme. What am I talking about? So yeah, speaking of Scooby-Doo, a lot of people seem to say that the original Scooby-Doo series didn't have any actual ghosts. Scooby-Doo was weird. The original like old Scooby-Doo series was really weird. Like, I love how they had to make everything a ghost for some reason. Everything they encountered had to be a ghost. It wasn't just a monster or something, no, it was a ghost. It was, in one episode it was the werewolf's ghost. In, like, the Yeti's ghost. Seriously, the Yeti's ghost. The bloomin' ice cream, this bloomin' strawberry and chocolate ice cream ghosts. I am not making that up. But no, I think that one came from that bizarre series where every episode revolved around a celebrity guest. Like Sonny and Cher. Like, Inspector Gadget is basically what he was. or the three separate Harlem Globetrotters specials. What on earth was up with that? But you know what's even weirder about that? They were like 1 hour long, those celebrity episodes. Yeah, 3 hours worth of Harlem Globetrotters for you, if you're curious. For all those Scooby-Doo slash Harlem Globetrotters fans out there. Like 1970s Harlem Globetrotters. You want to know what's really weird about that? When I was a child and I saw that Scooby-Doo series, I assumed that it was like... That came out 20 years after the original, after they'd made like 5,000 episodes. They were just running out of ideas, so they just started putting celebrities in. But no! You know when they made that? It was the second ever series. The celebrity guest stars Scooby-Doo series literally came out 1 year after the original series was made. Like the first 20 episodes or something like that. They made a series of 20 episodes or something like that. And then like 6 months later, the bloomin' Harlem Globetrotters. What on earth were they thinking? Anyway, Scooby-Doo. People seem to think that the old classic Scooby-Doo episodes never had any actual ghosts. No, they were all just some ridiculous criminal dressed up as a ghost, and that fooled everybody naturally. Because that's something criminals do, and because you could certainly trick people into thinking you were a ghost by shoving a bedsheet over your head. Oh, there actually was a real ghost in the original, like, first ever series of Scooby-Doo. And I can prove it. Go on YouTube, search for that one where Scooby is living on a... Search for that one where, like, Daphne's uncle died or whatever, and makes a bunch of his relatives stay overnight in some haunted house, and Scooby-Doo is one of the relatives because, don't ask. I mean, yeah, the ghosts that... And yeah, some ghosts show up and try to scare everyone away, but they're criminals, yeah. But then at the very end of the episode, then there's a real ghost. If it's not real, then there's no hint at all that it wasn't real. All the characters seem to act as if it was real, that they think it's real. So yeah, there you go, there's your minds blown, gang. The original series of Scooby-Doo had a real ghost. So we didn't have to wait until those movies they started making in the 90s, where like all of a sudden every Scooby-Doo film, the cartoon films and the live-action ones, had to have real monsters. So apparently someone decided, like after 40 years, it was about time that Scooby-Doo actually started having real monsters. Instead of like bank robbers that put on werewolf costumes. Because apparently they had nothing better to think of. Because apparently that was more convenient than just getting a gun and holding up the bank. Oh yeah, that's the end of the video. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, Romancing Walker. Well, hope you enjoyed Romancing Walker, everyone. That was good fun.